I hope you're doing well. It's hard to believe that this will be the last overview for the month that I'll be doing for 2024 because we're moving into 2025 and it just seems like 2024 started. We do have a lot of things happening this month that are going to set the stage really until late January 2025. So we'll go through them. The two things that are going to be happening are Mars is going to be going retrograde, and we also have a full 35-36 channel between Jupiter and Neptune. And that's going to activate an emotional manifesting channel, the 35-36, which I think will really shift the collective in a huge way. And I'll get into all that in just a minute. But before I do, I just want to say a huge thanks to everybody who has liked, shared, commented, been part of this channel for all of 2024. You are appreciated. And I know I don't say it as much as I should, but you are appreciated. I appreciate every single person who comes and actually spends time with me on this channel. It really does matter. Although I love making videos and I do love talking about human design, it means so much more when you have people to share with. And that is all you people out there. And I really do appreciate you being here. One quick thing, I do have a Black Friday sale happening as well, and that is sort of an appreciation. I've reduced the price of my book, The Mandala of Life, 384 Days to Self-Discovery, as much as I can. And that is a print version as well as a Kindle version. And this sale will be in play until December 3rd, 2024. So if you're interested in buying my book at a reduced price, I do appreciate all your support. If you're only interested in what's coming in December, there's a link to take you right to that part of the video. So you can go there right now, but anybody else who wants to stick around. I just wanted to mention something really interesting that I noticed. And these kinds of things are not things I actually follow. They're usually just dropped in my lap and information that just comes to me kind of very organically. But there was some sort of you could say a little dust up in the spiritual community where we had one person who I didn't even know about, a spiritual, you could say, teacher, who was sort of calling out other channels about sort of these clickbaity titles and this doomsday kind of concepts. And I thought it was really interesting to see in that it was very, very closely aligned with the transits that we're having. So we look at Jupiter in the gate 45, and this is like tribal leadership, but you also could remember that Jupiter is connected to spirituality. It could be even like the guru or those types of things. And I saw that when Mercury went into the gate 26, which is exaggeration, it's also talking about um kind of bringing your own spin to the collective of something. What was happening was we had this one spiritual teacher who was calling out other channels, like bigger channels, basically calling out the exaggerations of these other spiritual channels with their thumbnails and so forth. I thought it was really amazing in that it played out in the real world, but I also thought it was very indicative of Neptune's transit into gate 25 that happened in 2024. April 11th, 2024, we had Neptune move into gate 25. It hasn't been in gate 25 since probably 165 years. So nobody who's alive at this point has ever experienced Neptune in gate 25. The interesting thing about it is that Neptune is exalted in the 25 line 1. In my opinion, my interpretation, and everybody has their own idea of what exactly we could be seeing happening. But with Neptune, you see a veiling, a spirituality, you see an exaltation that hasn't been in place since 165 years, so a very long time ago. Now it's bringing this perspective of psychic attunement. And what it actually means is this concept of psychically knowing or intuitively knowing what self-help you need. And that is something that we haven't had in the collective, you can imagine, in 165 years. So it has been out of balance for a long, long time. Now the balance is coming back into the global aura, because as soon as one person is born with that energy, it is everywhere. What I see happening with this energy, with Neptune sort of activating this exaltation where it hasn't been for a very long time, is this concept of the spiritual self-help kind of business that we have in the world is a lot of times based on one specific teacher who teaches and tells and says, okay, well, you do this, this, and this, and my experience was this, and so if you do this, you can do this. And I mean, that really does fly in the face of human design, because we know that human design is about everybody's individual experience. So what works for me doesn't necessarily work for you. That doesn't mean that the self-help kind of spiritual guidance should go out the window, but what it does mean is that we should look at it as a boost. So in other words, if you're climbing a mountain and you know it's going to be a tough climb and you're kind of hesitant, can you climb that mountain? Can you do it? And somebody comes over and says, okay, I'll give you a boost. I'll get you up to the first area where there's a shelf, and then you can continue to climb yourself. And this is what really I believe self-help is meant to do. I believe that spiritual guidance is meant to give you that boost so that you continue to sort of go up that mountain. There will be times where you will get exhausted. There will be times where you'll feel like you've had enough. And then maybe you will get another boost, but it's always just a boost and not necessarily somebody literally going up the mountain with you, pulling you up the mountain or trying to pull you up the mountain, maybe pulling you up in a way where you want it to go somewhere else. And maybe they're taking you a route that you don't want to go, but yet you feeling obliged to go because they said it's the best route. And that is sort of what I look at with self-help, spiritual guidance, and those types of things in this present term. So if we look at it as being a boost that we can sort of use to our advantage, there is an assortment and really a plethora of so much information that we literally have access to, which is amazing because in the 60s, we had sort of the moving of the global cycle to the first line. We had this concept of occult knowledge, occult truth, occult hidden information brought to the forefront where we all have access to it. And we do have access to it. So it is there for the taking. And truly, the guidance and the leadership that we are sort of moving away from, we're in a first line global cycle, is authoritarian, which means this is the perspective of we have a first line process where a person knows all the information about something, and we go to that person and they are the authority on it. And what we do is we listen to what they say and we take what that type of thing. But now we're moving in the global cycle to the 2027 mutation and changing of the global cycle. This is moving us to the sixth line. And now we are saying, I will not lead you, but I will guide you. And that is the difference. I'm not going to take you down a path, but I will give you guidance, self-help. I will give you the tools that you can use along your path, and how you use them is completely up to you. And this is where we're stepping into our own authority. We're stepping into who we want to be and not really needing these gurus and spiritual teachers and those types of following. We're now leading our own lives. And that really transitions into the themes of Mars retrograde and what it is sort of bringing to us, and how it is really asking us all to be leaders in our own life. And I think it's so apt because, Mars is the yang, it is the masculine, it is the I'm not going to fool around, I'm just going to tell you what to do energy. But what we're really looking at is this leading your own life. And with Pluto moving into gate 41 next year, we know that it's going to be opposed to the gate 31. And it's really saying, what do you need to trim away from your life? What do you need to get rid of? What obstacles are in your path that is preventing you from leading your own life? Is preventing you from listening to your own best advice, your own guidance, from listening to that inner knowing that's always there, that a lot of times we put on the back shelf because it seems like somebody knows better. This course that is going to cost me thousands of dollars will help me get to that next level. I mean, you could take the course and maybe there will be some helpful boosts in it for you, but will it get you what you actually want? And this is about picking and choosing and being a leader in your own life and really deciding where you want to lead. And I don't think it's a mistake that Mars is literally going to be in gate 31 for the remainder of 2024. And almost exactly to the day on January 1st, 2025, Mars moves into gate 56 and it goes into an opposition with Pluto. Now, Pluto's not in the gate 41 yet. And what this is really talking about, once again, it's saying, okay, we're at the end of a cycle, and we know that, things are not going to be the same, because as soon as we start a new cycle, we know that the gate 41 is where we have to decrease to eventually have new growth in our lives. And that's literally what 2025 is asking us in a nutshell. But Mars is preparing us. Mars is actually in gate 31 for an extended period of time to really kind of hammer home this idea of leadership and what it means to you. Now, this is democratic leadership. This is about following somebody who you feel supports your views, not following somebody blindly because, that's the tribal way, which is really the tribal energy of the 4521 channel, which we are literally moving away from with the cross of planning sort of starting to fade away. So now we're moving into more of a democratic leadership. We also put the sixth line into the perspective, and the sixth line says, this is about you being your own best authority, you being the leader. And you're not asking to lead anybody else. You're just asking to have the peace and understanding to lead your own life. And this is what Mars is asking us all to do. And if you want to look in your astrology chart, what house or houses this is going to be in, that would be your Leo and also Cancer house in your astrology chart. Well, that's going to show you where you're being asked to open up a dialogue to leadership and what it looks like. With Mars here in a global perspective, we could see a lot of masculine yang leaders coming to the forefront. I'm the best. Mars is in detriment in gate 31 line 4, and we've had that already. 22nd of November right until the 28th of November. The 14th of December is going to be in the gate 31 line 5, and then it goes back to the gate 31 line 4 from the 15th right until the 20th. And this is where we might see more of this self-aggrandization and this Martian, look at me, I'll tell you how to work this energy, I'll tell you what to do. But also but that's not the way this democratic leadership is meant to play out. So Mars retrograde in the gate 31 especially is talking about rethinking your leadership styles, rethinking how you lead your own life, rethinking people who you give power to, rethinking all those types of things that you have in your life, and sort of making a plan for 2025 when things start to move forward again for things that you want to shift. So from January 1st to January 15th, we have Mars opposing Pluto in the gate 60. Mars will be in the gate 56. And when we look at this as a duality, because we know that every opposition in the mandala, they sort of are energies that are mirrored, but also you can use tools from each of the gates simultaneously to sort of work through the energy. And with Pluto in the gate 60, this is really talking about limitations in our lives. This is talking about the things in our lives that we know are sort of limitations. And, there are a lot of different ways to work with them. One is to push against the system and push against the ideas of being limited in any way, or alternatively, these limitations are just part of the natural progress of life, and eventually they will be transcended. And that is when we have mutation happening with the gate 60. 56 is half of the 1156 channel. This is about believing in peace and hope and something better and light in the world. This is about using the stories of your life to inspire both yourself and even other people. So these are the types of energies that are there to work through the limitations, to use the stories of life, both your own and other people, to inspire you to understand that limitation is part of a process that you mutate and grow through and evolve through. And eventually we will have Pluto moving into the gate 41. Again, this moves us back to this leadership. Now, there will be the gate 62 and also 53 that will be happening in January. Mars will be retrograding through those energies then as well. And I will go into that in more detail in the new year. The one thing that is said about Mars retrograde and also Mercury retrograde is to not get into conflicts, because if you begin a conflict or start a conflict, you are more likely to lose that battle. So that is something to keep in mind. The other thing we have beginning this month on the 2nd of December, but also going right into sort of the 28th of January, is we have Jupiter moving into the gate 35 And Neptune is already in the gate 36. So we're getting a full 35, 36 manifesting experience channel, because the 35, 36 channel is an experience channel. This is about a talent for experiences. What this can open up for us all is more experiences in our lives. But with Mars sort of kind of slowing things down, and maybe not, you don't have the energy that you might usually have, because Mars gives us energy to do things, to be more physical, to do those kinds of things that we want. You might be a lot more choosy with the experiences that you're taking, and that is perfectly fine. Now, this is a manifesting channel, which means that there's going to be more opportunities. And with Jupiter there, it could mean more spiritual opportunities for spiritual connections, spiritual experiences, things that you feel are enriching your spirituality. And that's especially true because Jupiter can be very spiritual in nature, and then Neptune can be dreamy and spirituality. And Neptune is connected to the 12th house in astrology, which can be about spirituality, things you do in your own space and meditation, those types of things. So there could be a lot of people sort of searching for a spiritual answer to the world around them and looking for experiences to kind of express how they feel, or to allow them to feel something different, to connect with something different. And when the nodes move on December 4th, we're going to have the North Node in the gate 25. It will be connecting with Chiron in the gate 51, which brings this whole awakening perspective. It is a channel of awakening. It is the only non-material channel in the whole will center. It is not tribal energy. It is individual energy that penetrates the tribe and says there is something more than the material way. And that's literally what this energy can tell us all. It is an environment that we're going to be in, which is even more impactful. It does kind of point us in the direction of spirituality being a bigger theme as we move forward into January 2025. And as long as the nodes are in play, because the nodes do change quite rapidly. We do have them moving into 36 and the 6 on the 31st of January. So it's a very short time when we have the nodes 25 and 46. One is universal love, and the other is love of your body, because they are both love gates, and infusing a way, way different energy from the awareness/fear gates of the spleen that we've gone through since 2022, since November 2022. So it is bringing this type of thing. But when we look at the 2551, I think we look at the Chiron perspective, and Chiron sort of brings a wounding energy, but it does bring a chance to heal through potentially, maybe there were spiritual experiences that you were disillusioned with, spiritual teachers, spiritual people, spiritual practices that you're disillusioned with. And now you're looking at, okay, I want to heal that, and I want to find my own path that is my path alone, and it does not involve having to listen to anybody else, other than I want to listen to them. I want to have a boost and be brought to somewhere else so that I can continue my own journey. So that is sort of what we're really looking at in the month of December, but also going right into January. So very impactful energy for spirituality, spiritual connection, getting in touch with yourself, being alone in your own space if you want. On a final note, we do have Saturn in the background, and you could say Saturn is keeping it real, or not necessarily keeping it real. It could be pulling us all into this level of conspiracy about what people are doing and what they're not doing. It could be about sometimes believing blindly what people are saying, because it's easy, because we know that the gate 63 is truly about a pressure to get answers, a pressure to relieve your doubts, a pressure to know that the patterns are secure, that life is going to be okay, because that's literally, our whole world is built on logic. And so it might be easy to want to believe what people are saying, to want to believe that person who seems to know that they're blah, 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 or whatever it is. But ultimately, now more than ever, it is a time to sort of look at the details. Does it add up? Is it true? Is it not true? What are these people really saying? And taking everything that you're sort of absorbing, especially through social media, and saying, okay, is this true for me? Is this something that I can actually prove to be true? Because a lot of the things that people say are not true. And you just need to do a Google search and you'll get the information that says that it's not true. One thing that we do have is that Mercury is going to go direct again on the 16th. It's going to go direct into in logical energy, gate 9, and it'll stay in that energy right until the 24th of December. When it does go in the gate 9, it's going to bring the theme of collecting details, collecting information, kind of having something to back up your theory. And so the gate 63, it may not be able to sort of get away with just pressurizing people to get answers and having people blindly believe in certain theories. There will be tools available for you to decide what's true for you. And as long as you're using them, then you're going to navigate the energy absolutely amazingly. In my opinion, the month ahead feels very positive. I just felt very positive about the whole month of December. I have no backing to say why I feel positive about it, only that I do. It could be just the fact that the nodal change is coming on the 4th of December, and this is sort of me trying to logic my intuition, but I can't really logic it other than it just feels good. And I really hope that I am right because I think we all would love to have a little more light in our world and have a nice, peaceful month ahead. And with that said, I do hope you have a wonderful holiday season if you're celebrating. And I will, of course, be back again. And until next time, take care and bye for now.